What's up, print fam? Welcome back to the print shop. It's been a busy morning getting all of the orders ready to go and out the door. We got the pens reorganized on the old trusty red cart. That way they're all in one place rather than having to pick from multiple locations. We can take it wherever the laser is at the moment. Still working on a few things. Let me show you what's in the works. This area has got to get cleaned up because we are moving the flatbed either Wednesday, so tomorrow, or later next week. My brother's going to help me. He has moved a ton of equipment in his life. He thinks it'll only take about 10 minutes to get done, but I've got to get all of this stuff out of the way because I'm either going to move it so that the gantry is this way and it will print across here, or I'm basically going to flip it 180 degrees and put it up against the wall. Then we got to move the Summa out and over. Just kind of depends on where we put the flatbed printer. Also, after talking with a few people, I've decided I'm not selling the Konica because the value that I can get out of the Konica doesn't justify selling it because it makes almost double what I could sell the machine for in a year. So I am going to keep it. We did get new magnets also printed this morning. I did new magnets for, I thought it said Gary, but we're doing new magnets for all the tumblers. I did new magnets for all the pens, and I think that's it. All the different tumblers, the pens. This area is now cleaned off, ready for when the gravity shelves come, hopefully soonish. I ordered more pens last night because you can never have too many pens. And frankly, with the number of orders that you guys placed last night for just blank pens, I need more pens. I need to get additional racking up here. That way we can store everything when the pens come. But today we're going to talk about workflow. Let me get a few things situated, and then I'll talk about mine. All right, print fam, we're talking about my workflow and how my workflow is going to change in the relatively near future. So the way that everything starts out for me is sales. So I have everything in pipedrive, and sales can be lots of different things. It can be emails, Facebook messages, cold calling, cold visiting. Everything starts in here as a lead. In pipedrive, I have different sales channels. So I have like a potential job. We'll do P. We have potential. We have like artwork. We have waiting on customer. Anyway, we have a few different places that it can be. From there, I also have one that will create the invoice. I have one that puts it into production, and then one that is for billing purposes. Everything as far as customers go, it all starts in pipedrive for me. So I have pipedrive connected to my email. I use Google Suite. I've got the app on my phone. It makes it really easy and slick to be able to just make sure everything is in pipedrive. I track the products in pipedrive. That's how I know like my sales and all the data per product, because pipedrive allows me to put in products and information for tracking purposes. They also have reports. I have their basic reports, but everything is in pipedrive. From pipedrive, I then move to Monday.com. And then I also move to QuickBooks. I'm starting more and more so to do upfront payments and require that as part of my services. So as soon as these are called a pipe or a sales pipe, as soon as it gets to invoice, it creates the invoice in QuickBooks via Zapier. So it's called a Zap. It uses a Zap to create the invoice in QuickBooks from QuickBooks, I can then send it to the customer, or if they've already paid, I can just mark it as paid. Now, as a side reference, I use Spot On for my payment processing. Basically, what I did was I created a link that shows them their invoice amount, their invoice number, allows them to play with Venmo, Zelle, direct deposit, or credit card. Most people pay with credit card. Now, once I put it into production, it creates a zap and puts it into Monday. And Monday is where everything production related. So pipedrive is sales, Monday is production. And this is where things are going to change in my Monday. They were this way at one point, and now they're going to go back. But from Monday, you have boards, which if you're like familiar with Trello or really any management software, there's just different buckets or boards. So I'm going to have basically a board for every type of project. So whether it be lasers, whether it be the flatbed, the Konica, if I can spell, or the HP. I think that's everything. Pretty sure it is. And then I might have subsets of lasers versus like pens, tumblers, other, etc. I haven't decided that part. But right now, everything goes into Monday. It's all in one generic board that I track the process of the job, and I have some automation set up. So let me erase this board real quick. But before I do that again, everything for sales is related to pipedrive. I have integrations with invoices and products to create invoices or put it into production. So I'm going to take you through the generic Monday setup that I have. This can be tailored in any way that you want, but this is kind of the information that I put in. So I always have a status. The status is just that. It's the status of the job. So it'll be like waiting for art. It will be like waiting for material. It'll be ready. It'll be issues, if there's like an issue with the artwork or something. Any form that you want. I also have one called ready for pickup and then picked up in there. These I have tied to integrations so that if I put this as ready to pick up, it emails the customer so that I don't have to do that step. And then once it's picked up, then it takes it away from Monday and just puts it in an archive. So I have the status. I also have the job type, which that's where things are going to change a little bit. So right now, everything goes into a master board that has the job type, and everything is just in there. Now, with my job type, I'm going to take it from being in the master board to going to a specific board for that category. So like the Konica, the fibers, and by fibers, I mean the lasers. So this is where we would mark, oh, it's for the CO2, it's for the fiber, it's for the HP or large format, that's for large format flat, and the Konica. My marker is dying. So from here, it's going to force it to go to another board based off of what I pick. The purpose for this is to kind of have that managerial step. Hopefully, basically my plan is to get Taylor into that position and get Taylor people underneath Taylor. But right now, this is what I'm doing, and then it goes to Taylor. The other things that I have like a secondary notification field. I have the customer's name. I have notes. I have the email address and a few other things. But I always want the name and the email address so that I can use the automations in Monday. Because again, the whole purpose of having a workflow is to help save you time and to make sure that everyone does it the same. From here now, once I have all of this information, we have the type of job selected, that's where it's going to go in my new setup to the different locations. So I'm going to have Monday set up at the laser station. I'm going to have Monday set up at the Konica. I'm going to have Monday set up at the flatbed. So basically you can go to that area and see if there's work that needs to be done on that machine. That way there's no question if Taylor comes in or one of the other employee comes in, they just know, hey, check the different areas and you'll be able to see on Monday if there's work that needs to be done or work that's pending something else to happen. And again, all of it is important. The biggest thing to me is having automation. So automation as far as letting the customer know, automation as far as moving it to the right area of the shop, and then automations basically that will then send it back. So everyone knows the process. Everyone knows where it's at. And if a customer calls, anyone is able to answer these questions. Now, again, this is what I'm changing to. Right now, I just have a master board. So another common phrase for something like this is a standard operating procedure, or an SOP. Again, the whole purpose behind the workflow is 1, automations, but 2, standardizations, and to reduce the number of questions that need to be asked, and to also make it so that people do it the same. I want to be able to do it the same. I want Taylor to be able to do it the same, and I want anyone else that comes and works here to do it the same. I'm not always right, so it might not necessarily be my way of doing it, but the process itself needs to be standardized. I like using digital stuff to make it happen. Part of my reason for liking digital is I can check the status kind of whenever, wherever. If you want a good video, go watch Mr. Postman's video. He's got one that he goes through his physical card board that he made. But again, digital is where I like it, and it makes it simple for me to know where things are at. If you have specific questions about mine, then just let me know down in the comments, and make sure you're subscribed, because we already got another TV to get set up because my main TV is kind of having some power issues. So I'm getting a replacement for my monitor, and then we're going to set up my old TV as the first workstation to get that all done. So the plan for me again is I'm going to get TVs, little computers all set up to have this information so that it's really simple to know what things need to be done. A little more progress was made today on the cleanliness of the shop. Not a ton. My biggest goal for the rest of this week is to be able to get the DTF printer down and set up in its permanent home. Got a few things rearranged here, a little bit more to do, but you'll have to come back tomorrow to see that happen. If you have any questions about my workflow, my process, let me know down in the comments. I appreciate any suggestions or feedback, both positive and negative. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you in the next one.